Creatives, welcome back to the design studio. Today we're going to start prepping Christmas. So for the month of October, it's going to be full-scale holidays. So it's going to be Christmas, winter, Hanukkah, we're going to do Kwanzaa, we're going to have a whole bunch of different designs all culminating in the month of October. So it's going to be super busy. So today we're going to do a nativity wreath. So we're going to start off with basically the reason why we celebrate Christmas. So we're going to be doing a nativity inspired wreath. I can't wait to show you the design. And I'll talk you through all of the process. Like, why did I pick this? Why did I pick the colors? How do I basically put the entire design together? So we're going to discuss that as we put the wreath together. But before we start, a couple things. If you like this design and want to keep this tutorial, just click the share button. It'll share it to your Facebook page where it is easily found by you when you're ready to design your own. Also, YouTube subscribers, since this is a Facebook Live, if you would like to participate in actual Facebook Live, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Pacific is when I go live on Facebook, which is under Kats Creations Wreath. If you want to hop on over, that's where you'll find the live taking place. But if you're busy like me and you need to have a reminder sent, just hit the subscribe button on YouTube and you'll be notified whenever there's a new video uploaded for you to watch, which should be about twice a week. Also, if you guys can do me a huge favor, I just want to try something. I have an Instagram page, Kats Creations Wreath. I have been, for the last 3 months, playing within a 10 follower little bubble. So it'll go from, like, I can't break the 7,600 mark. It's like, Instagram is like keeping me in this small little 10 threshold, and it won't allow me to go any higher. So if you guys can do me a huge favor, if you can head over to Instagram and just do a quick follow, I would so appreciate it. I just want to see if they are in fact shadow banning me. So if you guys could do that, I would greatly appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure that I can see your comments and pull up Facebook right here. Where are we? Let me go ahead and type in the website for you guys. Private group is still open, and I'm going to be sharing some news regarding that next week. And I think you guys are going to like some of the changes that are coming to the private group, changes that a lot of you have been asking for. And so there's a really special offer that's coming next week. So I hope you guys will join me in the public group as well, or at least follow my page on Instagram or Facebook. So I'm going to go ahead and pivot you on down. So hang tight. Hi, Noni from Illinois. Welcome. Always trying to make sure you can see everything that you need to see from the measurements at the lower part of my board, which is generally where I have a tendency of working. I don't really work up here because it is a stretch, but we're going to go ahead and I'm going to finish wiring together this 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame. Why do I use a Dollar Tree wreath frame when you could use other materials? Number one, I came from humble beginnings, so money was tight, and I don't want to forget that. And anything we can do to reduce the cost of the materials, reduce the overall cost of the product. And so we're using the frame. There's nothing wrong with the frame. Some people might not prefer to use this, but we are. So I've wired together the first 5 sections. The 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame is made up of a grand total of 6. So I'm going to show you how we're going to wire together the last one, which is the same way I did the other 5. So we're going to take our pipe cleaner, and we're going to go in between the 2 welds and find a halfway point. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can just kind of eyeball that. But you're going to go wire together the 2 inside rings, and that prevents you from having to put glue on this to keep your pipe cleaner from sliding around or from flip-flopping around. So the 2 just creates that ideal tension so that you don't have to do that step. And then we're going to do the 2 outside using that one in the center and our weld mark, and kind of find a halfway point on the outside too. And we're going to go ahead and put two, one on each side. So we've got one there, and we're going to go ahead and do this one here. Okay, so that leaves us with 6 on the inside, 12 on the outside, grand total of 18. So our deco mesh today is going to be 20-inch pieces with 18 pieces that will use one complete roll of deco mesh. So you won't have to go outside that and buy any more. So this is the color we're using today. It's a royal blue, what's known as a matte foil. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me push the light out of the way. It's a flat matte finish, but it looks gorgeous. So this is going to be our base for our mesh. And then this is the sign that we're using, which is from, trying to get rid of the lights. There we go. Personalize It by Pam. So this is a beautiful sign that she sent me. So we're going to go ahead and utilize this in our first 2023 Christmas design for this year. So we're going to do all royal blue. And why, Kat? Why would you pick royal blue when clearly there's so much royal blue already on the sign? Well, you've got to have a focus point on a wreath. So my ideal focus point on this one is to draw your eye directly to the center, which is exactly what's happening here. So I don't want to take away from that by competing with other colors on the outside like gold or white. So we're going to keep it all natural so that our focus is right towards the center. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Hi, Cheryl. Welcome. Hi, Michelle from Australia. Thanks for joining. And Karen from Arizona. Hopefully you guys are cooling down. You guys are slowly starting to see your fall weather. So this has all been cut with a wood burning tool. These are 20-inch pieces, and we're just going to visualize an imaginary line right up the center, and we're going to pull it towards us in small little increments. You don't have to be in a hurry, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So just like that, I have gathered together everything. This is known as the ruffle technique. People also refer to it as the bow tie or the scrunch. And then we're going to take that finished edge, which is the edge that we have not cut against, and that is going to go right to the inside center of our wreath. And we're just going to center that on an inside pipe cleaner. Now I know that I am not going to be using the middle pipe cleaners, so I'm going to be removing those as I go. Trying to get my handle's been slipping off my pipe cleaners. So there's that one. And then we're just going to take the leftover little piece of the pipe cleaner and push that back to the center. Okay, we don't have to worry about fluffing our deco mesh. We're going to be, the pieces in the center are just a filler for the outside too in each section. So we don't really need to worry about this yet. So I am just going to do what I call the next one. So I started with an inside, and then if you notice, the next one for me is an outside. So it's going to be outside, outside, inside, outside, outside, inside. And that's how I'm going to place my mesh inside. Why do I do it that way and not just do all the middle and then do all the outside? Well, I've done it both ways. And what I find by doing what I call the next one is I don't have to fuss too much with my mesh. Whereas if I just did all the inside ones, every time I get to an inside one, here, if I was to come back and put the outsides in, I have to stop, in addition to just putting my mesh in, and make sure that the middle pieces are all underneath. And so this just saves the step. So now we're going to do the next, this is what I call a transition piece. So we're right in here, finishing one section, starting another. And you'll notice that there is no middle piece for that transition. So what we want to do to make sure we got good coverage is to take the ends of the piece before it, and we're just going to make sure that it's like right a little bit high and a little bit low on the outside one. And then it'll lay directly on top of the left side piece in that section. So again, open that up, lay our mesh right on the inside. Just one full complete twist. Okay, and then as we're joining those two pieces together, we're going to fold just the ends of our mesh down so that that cut edge doesn't fray. And then I just move all my pipe cleaners to the left as I finish so that they don't get in the way of the other mesh that I'm getting ready to come in and place. So when you're starting off on wreath making, the one thing you always want to determine when you're designing is where do you want to draw your customer's eye? Is it all over? Is it all the details? Is it the bow? Where do you want the initial focus point to? If you don't have a focus point, it's kind of, it could be distracting if there's just so much going on and the poor customer doesn't know where to look. So I always say start with a focus point, just like the sign was. And the sign determined my colors, it determined my ribbon choices, it determined my mesh color. So it just made the process much easier. Edie asked, where did you get the manger scene plate? It's not a plate, it's a sign, and you can get it from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy. She is the one who has that sign available. And it is a 10-inch round. So depending again on your design, if you're going to have a lot of embellishments, 10-inch might be a little too big. If you're not going to use a ton of embellishments, you might want to use a 12-inch. She offers it, I believe, in an 8, a 10, and a 12-inch. So we're getting to the joining sections. So I'm going one above and one below that pipe cleaner, so that the very next piece is going to fit right on top. And if you notice, I am gathering my mesh against the curl. I'm not working with the curl. I'm laying it flat. I take my scissors and just kind of place that on the area that wants to roll, and just hold it flat so I can get those pieces in. And then again, pipe cleaners to the left. So again, here's the way the mesh wants to roll. We're going against that roll, folding it flat so that I can gather. I just keep pushing my scissors out of the way so that I can grab this, open up our section. Go ahead and place that right in the inside. And those inside pieces also fill that center so that when we put our sign in, our sign doesn't just fall into the center. Hi, Karen from Idaho. Welcome. So the one thing I do need to do when I'm adding that center piece is I have to pick up the left side piece and make sure that my Deco mesh is going behind it. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Here we go. Forgot to silence my phone. And normally I don't ever get phone calls, but it just never fails when you're going live. There is phone calls. Joanne says, I love this mesh. This is one of my favorite. I love the royal blue matte. This was new, I want to say, as of last year. This color combination became available. So you don't have the shiny sparkly. It's more of a matte finish. Hi, Pearl from Mississippi. Welcome. Thanks for watching. And right into that center. That's why it's kind of nice to have things prepared so that when you get ready to pick up your piece and lay it down, you've got everything ready. Okay. And as you can see, it's providing great coverage. You can't see the gray mat below it, except where we haven't pressed a mesh. Right, Cheryl? She said this mesh is so vibrant, but it's not sparkly mesh. It's a flat. So it does have a foil finish, but it's a matte finish. So now we're putting in our center. And you can see the holes getting smaller. We have 2 more center pieces to fit in there. As a first-time wreath maker, if you're not sure, should I cut the inside, should I not cut the inside, I always say wait till you get to the end. Then once you have all your stuff figured out, then you can come in and cut whatever you're not going to use. The fact that my sign's 10-inch and we're going to put a nice bow on it, basically just says, hey, you're not going to have any room in the center for anything. Now we're doing our outside, so sometimes those other pipe cleaners are in the way. Just move them out. Okay, fluff right here. And we want to make sure that that one centerpiece, we're getting the full benefit of that centerpiece being used. So this is the difference between a good quality deco mesh is coverage and the overall look when you're finished. No frays, if you notice, because I used the deco or the wood burning tool to cut my mesh. Here's our transition section. So I've got to take a moment and move the one center one that's in the way. It's just like, I want to be part of that mesh. It's like, you'll get your own piece here in a second. Okay, outside, fold the edges over, and then we're ready for our inside piece. You can totally tell these are the closer to the inside finish part of the roll, because you really have to fight those ones because it really wants to curl tight. So I like to use these a lot of times on that inside piece because it wants to curl. So it's nice for it to curl flat. Okay, you need to go side. Fold that end down. And then I'm preparing this for our outside one, but I've got to lay it underneath the previous outside piece. So this is where it takes a minute just to get everything situated. Then I don't have to do it at the very, very end. Oh, I was like, what happened? Like, I'm looking at 4 pieces, and then I'm like, looks like 5 pipe cleaners. And it is 5 pipe cleaners, but then I forgot. I have one sitting on top of a bin sitting here. My project bin. So we're in that transition. Pipe cleaner to the left. Prep a little bit above and below the next one. Move those out of the way. And I'm like really only gathering maybe a ½ inch of mesh at a time. I'm not going as, you know, pulling as much as I possibly can each time I'm gathering. I'm just gathering in even pieces. Okay, fold those over, pipe cleaner to the left, and we're ready for our center one here. So here's that skinny little piece. This is the one that was right on the very end, which is why I couldn't see it. It had rolled so small. So I'm like basically going like an inch at a time so that when it folds, it's like ½ inch pieces. And then we have 2 more, and we're done. Down to the center. Okay. There's that one. And now we've got our last 2. The last one is always the challenging piece to get in because we started with the center. We have those 2, the right piece for the section and then that transition piece. But it's not impossible. You just have to pull things out of the way until you get that final piece in. So like this, we want to make sure that we've got the middle underneath covering. We're moving our pipe cleaner to the left, and then I'm preparing the place right here for our left. I just kind of push things out of the way so that we can gather it and then just drop it right in the pipe cleaner. Okay, right in here. And as you saw, it just went right in. Now we will fluff and make sure we've got all those transitional pieces in. We've got that one piece that goes over our center piece, so we want to make sure the center is underneath, and we're all set. So this is the base, which end to end is right at 24, 25 inches. It just depends on how you lay them. So now we're going to come in and add our ribbon because this is our sign. So the colors that I have chosen for this are going to be an ivory, a gold, and then a blue. So those are our color palettes. So here is, and we're just focusing on the outside 12 right now. These are our ribbon choices. So they're already cut and prepped for you guys. So we're doing this 1.5 inches, and it is a navy blue, a gold, and a cream, kind of like a plaid from Craft Outlet. We're pairing that up with a ivory and gold. This is from Joann's. So the 2.5 inch is cut to 14-inch pieces, and the 1.5 inches are cut to 19-inch pieces. And then we're going to feature our Merry Christmas ribbon. This is a Merry Christmas on gold glitter on top of a navy. This is from Hobby Lobby, as well as this gold and blue right here. It's from Hobby Lobby. So again, 2.5 inch is 14-inch pieces. The 1.5 inches are cut to 19-inch, and we're going to alternate those all the way around the outside. So we're going to start with the ivory. So we fold it in half just so that you know where true center is. And then you're going to gather. We're going to open our pipe cleaner. We're going to lay that right on the inside. Just one twist. You're going to, right now it like kind of concaves. Then we're going to take our 1.5 inches. We're going to bring the dovetailed ends together, go up about 2 inches. You're going to gather in and pinch. We're going to take right where you have your fingers. That's how it's going to lay inside your pipe cleaner. You're going to give it about 3 or 4 twists. You're going to open your loop. You have to right side the wrong part of your ribbon. So just twist that so it's facing upwards. And I like to make this to where you can see both. So I kind of have, you know, the 2.5 inch on the outside, then inside, you know, just displayed like that. And I have we decided? I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. I was like thinking, did I want to put anything on there? You could put in scatters and fillers and just add like an ivory. I know Hobby Lobby has a metallic set. So it has like rose gold, silver, and gold. You could put that in there. I'm choosing to not. Now the Merry Christmas, I want to make sure that the writing is facing the same direction. So I'm going to place this inside, just like this. One complete twist. Again, fan that to the outside. Our 1.5 inch is done the same way. Dovetail ends together. Now this particular ribbon at Hobby Lobby, it has wire to the outside, but it's glued to this mesh on the inside. So you have to be really careful when you're pulling on it because you could split it. As you can tell, I've had that happen in the past, which is why there's that word of caution. So once I give it that complete twist, I remove the excess pipe cleaner, take that little end, go all the way behind that loop. Again, take real careful note to not pull on this ribbon too hard as you're right siding it. So again, it displays just like so. And now we're ready for the other piece. So it goes pretty quick once you get your groove going. And I haven't quite decided what we're embellishing it with. It will all depend on what everything looks like. I have a lot of stuff pulled out, just in case I'm like, well, we kind of need a little bit of a filler. There's too much blue. We need to, you know, break up some of that royal blue. Around the back. Because then that way you don't see it. This one I can kind of be a little bit more forceful with it. Okay, push those over. I just like to push them straight up and down so it's easier to just drop my ribbon in when they're already open and ready. Okay. Here we go. Again, open that up. Go ahead and get your 2 inches together. Place that right in the center. Your twists. Place that right around the back. Be careful as you open. Be careful as you right side. Okay, there's that one. And then that one. Okay. Are there any questions I can answer for you guys? And it can be on anything. I am here. Hi, Mary Carol from Oklahoma. Hi, Stephanie. She says, I'm vacationing in London. Wow, congratulations. All the way across the pond. Enjoy your vacation. Hi, Linda. Hi, Jeannie from Pennsylvania. And Joan from the UK. Welcome and thanks for joining. Okay. And we'll fluff. I'm loving these ribbons this year. This is a new one from Craft Outlet this year. This blue, the navy blue with the cream and the white. There we go. Get that one all the way in. I'm going to get that ready for the other side. But I need the one right in between this one. Where did you buy the mesh? Karen, it came from Craft Outlet. It is a matte royal blue 10-inch mesh, and they're cut to 20-inch pieces. Gotta be careful. This is me telling myself to do that. You are most welcome. YouTube subscribers, if you are catching this on a replay and you have a question, please feel free to post your question, because I do go back in and read all the comments. Okay, gather. I feel like we're halfway. That's what it feels like. I think we're just like 1 over halfway. And if your deco mesh is in the way from a previous ruffle, just move it out of the way. You know, if it's ruffling right here, put it in its place. Place it where you need it to be. Same thing with your ribbon. Place it where you want it to go. This one's being a little stubborn. There we go. And let's take this and place that right over the top. Just so we have a lot more of that gold on top. Not so much navy on top. Just the gold and white to break up the blue. See, like right here, there's mesh in the way. Just push it down. I always try to make sure that I have access to all those 12 pipe cleaners to the outside. This wreath is currently available for sale on the website, which is pinned to the bottom. So it's at KatsCreationsNMore.com. It's the only one like it that I will be making. And I like that with all of my designs because I want each of my customers to have the original. Okay. I'm just pre-moving my pipe cleaners out of the way. Because remember, we moved them all to the left. So they're all technically in the way. tension in. Today's going to be, I think this is our last warm weekend for fall up here in Washington. We're supposed to see 80s, and then we have rain all next week. So I am a happy camper, but it is really nice outside right now. Okay, I'm going to pull this over. Just get those other pieces ready to go. 3 more sets, and then we're done with the outside. Then we'll make our bow. We will add our sign, and then we will look and see, do we need to add any type of embellishments to this? I've already given you some suggestions of what you could do if you wanted to leave your pipe cleaners there, or you might be working on a work frame and you have those little pencil ties or tinsel ties, and you're like, what do I do with that stuff? Do you hide it? Do you cut it off? It's entirely up to you. You can incorporate it into your design. You can cut it off. You could add little glitter balls to the end. Okay, push those out of the way. I feel like a sous chef. I had all my ribbons like cut and prepped and ready to go. So I tried to make sure I was ready when you guys joined. Okay. See, like this one just keeps wanting to sit in front of this. So if it doesn't want to go, I can put it behind it. Okay, last one of these. Checking all the way behind. Okay, let's put our little and we've got our one to squeeze in right here. So our last Merry Christmas. And then we'll fan this one out. So we've got a lot of Deco mesh right here just fighting. So you just move it to the desired location you want so that your ribbon will lay flat. And then we'll put the last half bow in. And then, so the reason for having the tails and the half bows and everything kind of radiating to the outside is because whatever's in the center, it's kind of like a sun. It just radiates from the outside. So with that sign, we want everything else to basically just be like, here's the power, and it pulls everything else to the outside. Okay. And you can go around and just change your ribbon look depending upon what do you want to see on top versus maybe what you don't want to see on top. Obviously we can't see everything, but we should. So there is our ribbon. So we've got this total field of blue. Now we're going to make a bow for that. Then we'll add our sign, and then we'll look and see if there's any type of embellishments we want to add. I did bring some silver and gold stars over if we want to try to make like the star and have that above the wreath. It may or may not work. So, ribbon choices. Well, we have the ones we were using. So I think I'm going to do the cream, because the cream will sit on the royal blue. Then we'll have our Merry Christmas. Then we have our blue and our blue and gold. And then I couldn't like decide between like which one did I want. So I brought all three over of the ones that we're going to mix in. So I think I want to do this, then this, then the gold, then the ombre color, and then that. Let's see. Do I want to break these up? That looks a little nicer. So you might do it like that. So where'd they all come from? Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Hobby Lobby, Joann's, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and then Craft Outlet. So that's the way I'm going to stack them. Normally, I don't do 7. Normally I do 6, but we're going to do 7. Because I feel like they all need to be there. So, I'm using a Bodabra. And we're going to start with dovetailing our ends, which is just taking your wired ribbon, bring those edges together, and you're going to cut from the folded side down to the wired point. However deep you like your indentation or your V is where you start on your ribbon. So there is, like, I like mine a little bit deep. Some people keep theirs pretty shallow. So we're going to measure out 10 inches for our tail, and we're going to gather right side fabric facing up. We're going to twist so we have wrong side fabric on our right. Now it's on the left. I'm just going to kind of gauge roughly what 5.5 inches should look like. I take my Bodabra with the center, lay it right on the 10-inch line so that when I go to pull this to the outside, this right now is sitting at 6 inches. I'm going to bring that in so that it's 5.5. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Because like any great recipe, consistency is what gives you the same desired look. Doesn't mean you can't be creative. Doesn't mean you can't change it. But if you like the look of one consistent bow, you just kind of follow the formula. So this one is finished. Now we're going to take our Merry Christmas, and for this one, I don't think I'm going to have enough on this roll. No. Okay. So I do have another roll. Not enough on that one. It's enough to add some ribbon tails, which is why I keep it, just in case I come up short, because you just never know. Sometimes they splice your ribbon in the worst possible places. So with this, having the Merry Christmas written horizontally, we can keep it horizontal. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's dovetail first, our end, right there. And then we're going to go 9.5 inches. So if I was to do it the same way we did this one, if I go 9.5 inches, my word is now facing me, it's upside down to you. The minute that I put it in and twist it, watch when I bring it up and over and measure, this side is upside down from our ribbon. I'm going to show you how we're going to fix that. So measure your distance. I'm going to do this 5.5 inches or 5 inches. So I'm going to bring it all the way in. Okay, right at 5 inches. Oops. Twist. And then I'm going to go up and over. We're going to do 5 inches again on the opposite side. So see, it's perfect here. It's just this one loop. What I've seen wreath makers do in the past is they'll cut their ribbon. They'll do half and half, and then they'll just lay those in the center. But what ends up happening is when the customer, who doesn't realize that's how they did it, goes to fluff that ribbon and they go to pull, they pull it right out the other side. So I'm going to show you how. It's just a super simple fix. Okay, there's our dovetail end. So as you can see, we have correct writing, correct writing, correct writing, wrong way. Here's the super simple thing you do. Just twist it back. Just twist it back in the right direction and then just lay your tail back over. Now everything is facing in the same direction. That's it. No need to cut. No need to have an unhappy customer who has 2 pieces of ribbon in their hand. That's exactly how you would fix it. Super simple. Okay, now we're going to do our blue mesh. Remember, we have to be careful with this one because we could split it, because they glue it where the gold is attached to that mesh part of the blue. So we're going to go 9 inches in. We're going to twist, place that right to the inside. And this time we're going to go 4.5 inch loops. So I want to measure right at 4.5 inches. Do the same to the other side. Make sure, measure, and then back out to 9 inches. So we had 9 inch tail, 4.5 inch loop. We'll dovetail the end, and then you're good. Okay. Now we are going to do this navy blue and gold. And we're doing 4.5 inches as well, but we're going to take the tail up and only make it 8.5 inches. So 8.5, twist, place it on the inside. Now, because we've already measured the loops on the other, you can just put your fingers in both and pull. And you don't have to stop and measure your loops. You just need to measure your tail. Okay. Eight and a half. Dovetail the end. Those are all set. Aw, Joan, she says, absolutely delighted I caught this tutorial. Please scroll back up and read my previous post regarding the Christmas and angel ideas. Did you? Oh, I know you're busy, but did you have any thoughts about the angel wreath with the same frame and method of the scarecrow? Yeah, I actually did. I'm just not sure how to look, because technically, and I think this is what's going to happen next year, is you're going to have people doing angel heads on them. You could totally do that. You could do Santas. You can do elves. You can do everything and make it look the exact same way. I was already thinking the exact same thing, because I have a gingerbread wreath attachment kit, and I'm like, I wonder if we just did that. I need to look at the fold method to find something I think I might be okay with. So this tail is 8 inches, and we're going to go 4.5 inch for the loop size. Or sorry, 4 inches. 4 and 4. So right there at 4. This one's kind of a sheer ribbon. But yes, you can definitely do that. And I think people will. I think you're going to see, I mean, the method is the same. You can put any character on there. You know, like when we did the scarecrow head. Anything that comes in the way of a head-like sign, you could most definitely do that. So I'm trying to go, I thought about it, but I haven't like put any real thought into working the design out. Just because I already have so much stuff planned for this month. And I already know you're going to start to see it. Somebody's going to come up with that and go, huh. So this one is going to match that same ribbon, less the ribbon length. This one is 7.5 inches, and we're going to do another 4-inch loop. So we're just going to follow that sheer with this sheer print. So same theory. Put your fingers in both. Pull. Just have a lot of ribbon in there right now. Okay. Pull. We've got to measure out our tail with 7.5 inches. Let's do our dovetail end, and then we're going to put that last ribbon in here, and we're going to do a 7-inch tail with a 3.5-inch loop. So here's our final ribbon, which is the same ribbon that has been incorporated in the design all the way together. So 7 inches. And then 3.5-inch tail. Right there. That's about as, with this ribbon, that's about as small as I really feel comfortable going with a bow this big. Is 3.5 inches for the loop size. And then we're doing out. I want to pick that up so I don't cut the other ribbon below it. There we go. And now everything's in there. So now we can secure it, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to fluff the whole thing. Okay. So let's get, let's do a navy blue. Or the royal blue. So we're going to pick this whole thing up like a sandwich. Like you're picking up that club sandwich. We've got to get that bread all the way in. So I'm just holding. I'm going to drop my pipe cleaner right in the center of that stack. I'm going to twist and hold it right at the bottom. But then I'm going to twist my stack in the opposite direction to twist and tighten that pipe cleaner. The reason why I use pipe cleaners is because as you get older, your hand strength starts to vanish. It's like one morning everything works, and then the next minute you're having a hard time pulling like the label or the protector on your coffee creamer, and you're like, I can't seem to do this anymore. What the heck happened? So pipe cleaners just make the process much, much easier to do. So this is a 24-inch by 24-inch by 1-inch thick cutting board. Make sure that nothing falls over. I have a inch, it's an 1.5 to 2-inch C-hook. So you just screw that right into the center of your board. For me, there was fluff boxes out there, which are 12 by 12, and they're so high. I like, when I'm fluffing my bows, I like it to be flat. I like to have a big surface to work all my ribbon. So I just needed something that would secure it so it didn't roll off the board. So now I'm going to simply take my C-hook. I'm just going to secure that right in here. Let me see if we can zoom in so you can see that. I just secure it on the C-hook, so it just prevents my ribbon from sliding to the left or right. So I don't know if you guys can see that. It's just secured that. Okay, I'm going to go out just a bit. And we're going to refer to this as top stack. This is the bottom. And we always start when we're sorting from the bottom. It's just easier that way. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to grab the very bottom ribbon, which is the white. I'm going to put my tail to the left, loop to the right. Okay, I'm going to go all the way to the opposite side and I'm going to make my loops directly across from each other and my tails directly across. So that's just, I'm separating the ribbon at this point. Now from here, I'm going to take my ribbon, the tails, and put that to the right, the loop to the left. Do the same thing on the opposite side, so that what you're seeing now is those ribbons are starting to alternate between tails and loops. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go here and here. Actually, let's mix it. Let's put the gold on top. Just whatever you do on top, meaning the stack, however you want to lay them. Just remember, you've got to do the opposite on the bottom part. So find your ribbon. Remember, we have to be careful about this one because we can split it. So it's following the blue. And now we're going to go right here, right and left. We're going to go left. I'm just pulling in, like unpinching ribbon if I see that anything is pinched in here. We're going to go ahead and do the same thing here for this ribbon. Back over to the gold. Follow and find it here. Okay. I'm actually flipping this on the inside. Somehow it got twisted because you should feel the glitter to the outside. Okay. And then from here, I'm going gold, loop and tail. Okay. Find the loop and the tail. And then here, final separation here and here. There's one. And there's the other. There we go. Okay, so now if you look, all I have done is separated everything by tails and loops, and I like that because when I want to go lay my ribbon on that sign, I need to know where everything is facing. So when you go to fluff, you're going to pick up the top two on the top, open those up, elongate the loops. This needs to go over here. Here's this one. There's that. And that. Ignore the tails for now. Go find your next set of ribbon. Decide where you want that to fall. I kind of like the idea that this is on the outside and the blue and gold is in the center. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to pull that out. And here's my other loop here. And then for this one, I'm just going to let that sit right in between those two. Because remember, we have 7. So we've got the odd duck going in there. And then we're going to do the same for the bottom. So open. And then open. And you can see I'm really elevating those loops I'm bringing everything up. It's no more one-dimensional. We need to elevate and make it 3D. There's that one. Okay, now we can contend with the tails, which is just simply run them through your fingers, and that'll put that little roundness into the ribbon again. Works throughout all of them. Okay. You don't really see it as much on that flat board, but there are our ribbon colors. And then you can just, like, since we're not really displaying here, I don't really worry so much about like where do they fall on, you know, the ribbon yet, because it's got to go on the wreath, and then I'll fuss and figure things out. But that's the bow in a nutshell. And we're going to take it off in the opposite direction we put it on. So we have our nice little bow bouquet. Okay, now we need to prep our sign. So we've got Pam's label there. I want to put my business card on there so that this is how customers tell me they remember who they ordered their wreath from. Is they're like, why can't you guys just put your business card on the back? So it's like, okay, well, we can do that. So there's my business card. And now we're going to use a beadsmith 1.5 inch. Is it an inch? Yeah, 1.5 millimeter metal hole punch. We're going to add holes to our sign, so we have a way of being able to put that on the wreath. So just like that, works just like a hole punch right into metal. And then I prefer to use floral wire. I'm going to use this one up for a change. I already have another one ready. So just like that. I think we might have enough on this one, which would be great. And we're going through our hole to the back side, even out your wire, and then you're going to start twisting your wire right over the hole. So why don't you use adhesive cable ties, Kat? Why would I need them? I can punch the hole in the sign and instantly prevent that from ever potentially popping off. So I'd rather just punch the hole, because then I'm assured that's not going to pop off. Okay. So we're going in. And then again, I usually just twist it like 5 times right over the hole, and that gives it about a 1/4 inch little base. And because I'm building it on the back of the sign, it doesn't act like a spinner and spin, it lays flat. So now we're going to grab our wreath. We're going to bring this over here, and we're going to go ahead and add our sign. So I think I'm going to pull this down a little bit lower, because when we go to add our bow, I use the loop side. I want to make sure that we're not covering anything that we really want to see. So I can even move this more to the right so that we can have our bow in there pretty predominantly. So this is where I'm going to go ahead and attach it. And it just so happens that's right where those inside pipe cleaners are that we removed. And I'm just going to get that right below. Oop, trying to get one, like, you want to make sure that you're over your frame. So I'm going to pull this back just like this. This is roughly where I want it to go. I'm just like holding it in place, and then I just do like a 1/2 twist. Oop. Thought I had a 1/2 twist. What gauge wire? Great question. I use 22 gauge. floral wire. I like it a little on the thick side. The way that you can tell, gauge, is the higher the number, the thinner it is. It's like altitude. If you always remember, the higher the number, the less air you have, the thinner it will be. Okay, so I am just pulling out this one piece of mesh that's like right here so that I can get that anchored in perfectly where I want it to be. Just one good twist. And then right here at the bottom, I want to soften that harsh edge. So I'm going to pull some of my mesh up right here. And I don't want my sign to sink. I just want the edge of my mesh to feather that harsh, you know, like right where our sign determines things are stopping and starting. And I'm doing that along the edge. I do it right here as well. Don't pull a ton, just pull a little bit, just so you can see that little ruffle going right through there. And then this, I always tell you, this is my bow home. It needs a landing spot for my bow. So we know we want our bow up in here. So I need to take the mesh that's right here because the bow will want to just stay resting on top of the mesh. So I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to tuck it right underneath so I do not have to compete with, you know, oh, my ribbon won't lay straight because there's a piece of mesh popping way up on top. So right now we have a bow home going on right here. Boop. Same thing there. Okay. Now, because I know where my loops are, and then remember we worked so hard to make sure that that Merry Christmas was facing in the right direction. I want to make sure that when we're laying this on top, that that Merry Christmas is predominant. So I need to go find my pipe cleaner first. Okay, and I'm going to look at where do I want it to sit, which is pretty much right there. That's where I need my bow to stay. So I am going to go through my mesh. Again, making sure that you've got a pipe cleaner on each side of that rail. And I'm going to push this down where I want it to be so that I don't go any lower than it needs to be. And it's in there pretty firm. So now we can take and fluff all those tails wherever we wanted them to fall. So I'm pulling these all the way around, just like so. Okay, same thing up here. Have the same thing going on. Okay, nice little bow going right there. I feel like that one loop is just a little too high, so I'm gonna pull some of it back down. And then I'm gonna readjust the loops that I kind of messed up as I was getting everything placed. Okay, same thing. If you feel like you pulled a little too much of your mesh out, just go back into the center, feed that through to your fingers. Oop. I'm like, it's everywhere. I'm like pulling all the mesh other than the piece I wanted to pull and get in that direction. Okay. Fix your ribbons. Okay. Just like so. And now we can go ahead and embellish. So for me, there still seems to be an awful lot of blue around here. but I still don't want to take away anything from the center of our wreath, but we can enhance that look with a couple things. So I just pulled these out. These are from Big Lots a couple years ago. You could add, you know, so something as simple as like a star. I have gold, and then I had, oops, I had gold. I like it right where it was. There's that, or we can add, and the gold just has a tendency sometimes to be a little yellow. So I like it true gold, but we can have that. We can add this one. See, this is where I'm saying the gold sometimes, I wish I could flip that. Let's move this light out of the way. That is that there. We could move it over so it's more centered here. Like in here. We'd have to play with the placement a little bit, but we could do that. Another option is I have these from Hobby Lobby because I totally fell in love with them because they're just so pretty. Try to get them all undone. Is this gorgeous little silver star. So we can do something like that at the top, and then we can enhance that look all the way through. I don't have it in gold. I have it in silver with the rhinestone in the center, but we can add that, and then we can also go through and add in, let me find them if I can get them out. We have little balls that we can go through. There's those in gold or white. And then we have them in gold. You can just kind of drop them around. You have gold glitter or gold shiny. There's this one. We have white if we didn't want to do gold. So we do gold there. And do white. We have that. Or we can just put all gold all the way around. I'm wondering if we have enough gold shiny or gold glitter. To where if we just did them like this, and I know I have one more. Actually have 5. So we could do one here, one here, and then like that if we wanted. What do you guys think? Let me take these out. What if we eliminate these and went with silver? Since it kind of matches the star better. Of course, the ones you want are always the ones at the bottom. Like that, or we could simply, I'm just like giving you guys some options. This is usually what I'll do before I decide on any one in particular thing. We have stars. Could use the stars in here too. They would have to lay more flat. Like so. So I'm feeling like, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let's see what you guys do. Let's see. Brooklyn, the sign is from Personalize It by Pam. Thanks, Cheryl, for grabbing that. Would you use hot glue for the star? Absolutely. I'm not sure. Like, do I want to put stars on? Let me show you what that looks like. There's stars. Like we could. I have enough stars to do that. This yellow just looks a little too yellowy for me. Like the gold is like too yellow. There's also flat stars like this. They don't have to be shiny. They could just be regular. I don't know. What do you guys think? I hate that glare on that sign. You like the different colored bulbs, Carrie said? So like what? The gold, the white, the silver. Like here the gold works. You know, we can do these. It can be something along those lines, which definitely breaks that up a bit. I am trying to think. Sometimes when you have too many options, it can confuse you. There's a lot of glitter. Trying to get the star to stay in the place I had it. There we go. What if we go here? Went indent here and there. I am looking to see what you guys are saying. Okay. Well, I'm looking at a couple options. Couple options. Like, we could also take ribbon. We can add ribbon, but I don't really want to put ribbon too close because then it feels like it's taking things away. So let me go ahead and let me take this out. I just want to look at something. Just playing. Yeah, I don't like the gold color of the ornaments either, Cheryl. They're like way too yellow. Like this is a true gold. Look, like this is a true gold, and then this becomes yellow. And then to me, it feels like old and ancient. I definitely like the idea of the star. Like it doesn't have to be like front and center. It can kind of be off to the side. Like it was, you know, we were trying so hard to get that centered, like right above. And I'm trying to get this situated but the Deco mesh keeps wanting to push it away. I think I will do that. I think I will add like the silver. What if we do silver, white, white? Like right now I feel like it's just trying to compete too hard. Like I'm not even sure I want those in there now. Because I'm like, we were talking all about keeping it simple. So let's look at what else did Kat bring out here that she could use. Let's see. Nope, don't like those. Look, kind of, maybe I like this. Let's try to remove the price tag so that I'm not looking at that. The bane of a wreath maker's existence. Price tags on picks. You know, trying to remove them. Because it's so great when they just wrap them. We need some sharp scissors. There we go. Okay, so I'm like looking at these little berries that I have, and I like the fact that they're the same color. But let me try to flip these up and around. Like that. Ugh. Bane, 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 bane. Here's the other one. I'm just like looking at these now and going, what if we angled these around? Hang on. No. And then, of course, Deco mesh gets everything stuck to it. So let's see if we go smaller. So, see, you guys can tell the struggle is real. So I think I'm just going to take small little white glitter balls, and I'm just going to lay these here just for accent. Oop. Of course, that one just went way below. Oh, it's one of those days. Let me just set them there. We'll figure out final placement here in a second. I'm trying to space them out so that they're equally in place. Nothing wants to stay where it is. Let's pull this up. Like that. I think I'm just going to keep it simple, and I think I'm just going to surround my wreath with these little balls. So here's the easiest thing you can do. I need them to kind of have a little groove in them. So I'm going to take my super sharp scissors, and I'm cutting a little groove in them. how do I want to glue these? They're still going to be glued to the bottom. So, dab of glue on the very bottom. And so these are going to fit right alongside my sign in that groove. Just like that. So I can kind of indent where I want my groove to be. So like this one would be here. See how nice they fit when you add that little groove in them? So they're just little styrofoam balls. These are the ones that Hobby Lobby has now that are the metallic ones. See, and I'm just averaging them all out. Like, hey, here's where those would fit. So that it accents the sign and then breaks up the blue. Okay. That one would go there. We'll need that one there, and then one up on top. I kind of like that because it looks like it was meant to be that way. So there's that one. This will be here. And what I've decided to do is just put a small little bit of glue right inside the crack. We're adding that right to the outside. Because then it'll secure it to the sign on the top and on the bottom. Add this one here, and I think that's it. I don't even think I'm going to put the star on it. Just like so. Now I'll just fluff everything and put it all back where it was supposed to be. Sorry, little guy. We didn't give you much glue. Now we should be okay. Fluff, fluff, fluff. Remove all the glue threads. I'm going to flip this around so you can see. Sometimes you just have to know when. Like, I was literally throwing everything at it, including the kitchen sink. I'm like, let's put this in there. Let's put this in there. Let's put that in there. And now I'm just very carefully pulling our mesh up. That's where we had our star originally, so that we can fluff our bows behind that. And there we go. I know it looks a little weird because you can't really see it. But let's go ahead and put it up on the door. So I'm going to flip you up. Hi all. And I changed the door. So we're not putting it on black. We're putting it on white. Because I think the black would just be like, wow, way too powerful. Okay. Here is our final design. And I'm going to fluff all my bows the way that I had them. pulling off all our glue along the journey. Making sure everything is nice and pretty. There's the glue from my hand. Make sure we're on the hook. Okay. Well, what do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and zoom in so you guys can see that. There's that. And there's that design. Thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for giving me your advice and your input. I really appreciate it. And we are all set, and there you all go. So I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. I know it's only Thursday, but I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And I'm putting together more designs for next week, so make sure you join me for that. Bye for now, everyone.